Not of this, the rest is all bullshit. Not of this, the rest is all bullshit. Not of this, the rest is all bullshit. Not of this, the rest is all bullshit.
Right. Well. Hello.
Hello.
Adam and Eric here. We just came back from seeing Toy Story 3, and we wanted to give you guys our thoughts about it and talk about it, because there's been a lot of buzz, pun intended. Alright, no, actually I didn't mean to do that. About this movie on the internet. You know, a lot of stuff,
Yeah. There's been a lot of good positive reviews for it. I believe comingsoon.net gave it a 9 out of 10. A lot of websites, and Cool News said it was really cool.
There's been a lot of talk about how the teary-eyed nature of them.
On Facebook, there's a picture of a little kid crying in tears, and the mother took a picture of him and he was crying. She says, I was a little misty-eyed too. It's one of those type of movies.
Yeah,
which is kind of like, this really got me interested, and say, I want to see it. I want to see how emotional this movie can be, because it's about toys. All
right. Well, aside from all that crap, I think the biggest question is, was it good? Yes.
It was very good.
And I'm going to tell you what I've been saying pretty much the ride home, which is, this is an example, and Pixar is an example of a company. The movie itself is an example of how just because you're trying to cash in on a sequel does not mean the movie has to automatically suck. Everyone talks about how sequels suck. The second movie usually better than the first, or suckier than the first, and the third movie is even suckier. And it's true. Pirates of the Caribbean,
Spider-Man 3. Examples.
X-Men 3.
I didn't mind X-Men 3.
I thought it was god-awful.
But, anyways, the point is, usually the third movie sucks.
This movie is an example, and of course Pixar is an example of a company that can make a sequel, have it good. The studio can cash in on the fact that it's a sequel to the movies, and it's good. The audience doesn't feel ripped off. They don't feel like, oh, crap. And if they decided to end this movie series right where it is, it would be perfect. But the thing is, it's actually left in a position enough that they could make a fourth movie and still have it be really excellent.
Yeah, they could. But if they ended it here, I'd be satisfied with the whole series. And
I would.
Really
I think it would be an excellent trilogy. Could they make a fourth one good? I think if anybody out there can make a fourth
Pixar
movie,
can do it.
Yeah,
Pixar has never made a bad movie.
I think the worst you could possibly give them is it was good, but it was still okay. I think that's the
Monsters,
lowest.
Inc., in my opinion, was probably their weakest effort.
Ratatouille for me.
I liked Ratatouille.
I'll tell you the reason why is just because I saw some of it, and I just, as good as it was interesting as it was just a rat and cooking and...
Well, you are right. I wasn't really motivated in seeing it. I saw it, and it was not that appealing. But when you do see it, it is really clever. Yeah. It's full of ideas.
It's
fun.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. And it was directed by the same guy that did The Incredibles, which is one of my favorite.
Yeah, that one is a really excellent Pixar film. But premise-wise, it just didn't really catch me. Up had more appeal to me than that.
Up was
Monsters Inc. had more appeal to me than that as well. So I think that's the worst that you could possibly give Pixar is that, it was good, but it was still okay. If that's the worst you got, believe me, guys, you could do a whole lot worse than that, and they're still a really excellent company. So the premise of this movie is that the little boy from the first two movies is grown up. He's 17. He's going off to college.
Yeah.
And everyone's worried about what's going to happen to them. They're hoping that they wind up in the attic. Now, a lot of the characters from the first and second movie don't return. They have the Wheezy, the penguin guy, and a bunch of other little characters here and there that were in the first few movies that were peripheral. They reduced this down to the core characters.
Yeah, the main characters. You got the dinosaur, you got the piggy bank, you got the basics.
So basically, they're worried that they're going to wind up in the trash or something. And and basically where everything starts going wrong is where the kid, what was his name?
His name is Andy.
Andy. Yes, thank you. Terrible. I just came back from the movie and I can't remember his name. My memory isn't that bad. It's just
it's late.
I'm also trying to keep in mind everything that I want to talk about ahead of time. But so anyway, Andy accidentally uses a garbage bag instead of anything else.
He's going to put it up into
in
the attic.
Yeah.
But then, he gets distracted to help out his sister. His mother comes along and sees the garbage bag.
And she puts it out on the curb.
Yeah.
A little
mix up there.
Yeah, and that's where the movie goes. Now, I'm going to have to say that we're going to start getting to spoiler territory, and we're going to try to be as vague as possible. We don't want to ruin this, so if you don't want a lot of this ruined, we're going to try to have a point in this discussion where if you look at the bottom of the screen, there should be a time code that we're going to put here-ish as to where you can go. Yeah. So where you can go in this so that you don't get the movie totally ruined for you. So yeah, you're gonna have to do that because we're gonna get a little spoilerish. Basically, what winds up happening is a bunch of these toys wind up in a box that goes to this little daycare center called Sunnyside. Yeah. Yep. I can say right now is there's a good reason why it almost sounds a little bit like suicide because.
Well, at first you think, it's a perfect place. You go there, and the kids are loving the toys, and they're playing with all the time.
But those are the older kids, because then you get the little toddlers. You ever see the kids that run around screaming, and they're not actually playing with the toys so much as using it as a bludgeon
they're smashing the toys.
Oh god,
they're just
so a lot of these characters go through a lot of that, and it turns out that what happens is there's this pinkish, purplish sort of teddy bear that smells of strawberries that's running the place as some sort of wonderful old man character, sort of like that
I really
Burl Ives type character.
He was very likable.
He was. He was very likable.
Wow, he's like a cool little character. I wanted to buy a toy or some little stuffed animal because just to bring home after and put on my bed.
Like a Burl Ives happy grandfather type character. You remember Burl? He used to play those kind of characters. He was in the Rudolph thing doing the snowman opening. Oh, holly jolly Christmas kind of Burl Ives. And it turns out he's basically the horrible Satanist warden of this place. He sends all the new toys over to the what they call the caterpillar room, where the toys basically get the shit beat out of them. Oh my god, this was messed up. And he has this enforcer character that they call Big Baby. Which is basically this baby doll with one broken, lazy blinky eye, where you lean there, you tilt them back and their eyes closed. Well, this one's got like a lazy one. And
it even spins its head around.
Oh, yeah. It spends its nights.
Moonlight.
It spends its nights sitting on a swing set, staring up at the moon with its one lazy, half-closed eye. And then the second it heard a noise, its head spins around 180. It's
Yeah, The Exorcist.
Yeah. So basically what happens is Woody has to rescue them, and it's a big long adventure, and they wind up in a dumpster along with this big purple teddy bear thing, and it winds up at this place, and there's this shredder on a conveyor belt, and they almost get shredded. They wind up getting out of it because of a magnet separator.
You missed the whole breakout sequence. It's like they're in a prison. They're trying to break out.
I don't want to give too much spoilers, though. I want some of this to be a mystery, and